Hey everybody, happy Monday. And I have to tell you, I had a bit of a difficult day today, but I think I was still able to find a way to do some very positive, important things that I'm going to share with you. And even from the difficult part, I think I learned something valuable. And perhaps more importantly, I think I have something very actionable I can do to try and make things better going forward. So I thought it could be nice to share all of that with you in this video. 2026 has really been amazing so far, and I'm really proud of all the things I've been able to do up to this point. But there are still plenty of little healthy habits and rituals and things that I would like to build back into my life that I either haven't been as consistent as I would like to be just yet, and some things that I haven't really even gotten started with. So today I decided that I would try and get back into a few of those things that I haven't quite managed until this point. The first one is my weekly journaling, reflection, and planning ritual that has been instrumental in previous years to helping me improve my life and so many other things, and last year it really just completely fell away. I did still do it sometimes, but I tended to focus a lot more just on the reflection part. And I really do love this method, and I want to make a whole video about it because it really does help me so much. And so today I finally went through and wrote a nice little reflection on how I'm feeling about the year so far. And this was the perfect place to start because it was so pleasant. I really felt like I was coming home to a place of comfort. This always grounds me so much, and it also helped me to identify some of these other things that I'd like to try and be more consistent with. And one of those things is meditation, which I've been practicing since 2017, but to be honest, for several years now, I've had a hard time really building it into a consistent practice. And so that's one thing I'd really like to try and do in 2026. Then I went out to do some grocery shopping, and unfortunately, because I have to walk so far, this took several hours, and that's when I really started feeling very fatigued in a lot of ways. After I got home, I got to my last activity of the day on my list of really healthy, wonderful things I'd like to do more consistently in 2026, and this is my yoga practice, which I absolutely adore. I've been practicing yoga for many years, but I've never had a single year where I managed to be consistent throughout the whole time. The best I've had is maybe a few months at a time, and there always just seem to be life changes and things that derail my practice. And of course, last year, pretty much everything got derailed. So this really is something I would love to try and finally do consistently for the rest of this year. And then finally, I decided to spend some time reading my beloved French novel. And I think it's hilarious that this is actually where I found a delightful lesson regarding the fatigue that I've been feeling, because a lot of that does actually relate to living here in London. I've really started to feel very exhausted from a lot of things about living here, especially without really being able to get away for a break. But this novel takes place between London and Paris. And I was reading this scene where the main character in London is really just trying to convince his friend to move there. And he's listing all of these wonderful things about London and what it has to offer. And it was a really good reminder that a lot of the fatigue I have been feeling about living here, it kind of relates to my version of London, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. And it's funny because this actually reminds me of another practice, another very healthy ritual that I would like to bring back this year. You see, I used to always start my day reading this book, The Daily Stoic, and I developed this really awesome practice of actually highlighting the pages and then writing a journal. I mean, look at these inside the pages. And this was amazing because every single morning I would just get this nice, very short, digestible passage from an old stoic master, a brief interpretation from the book author, and then I would really challenge myself to think about it, reflect on it, and see what I could learn. And I bring that up because I think one of the most central lessons from the Stoics is simply the idea of letting go of the things that you cannot control. And I think there are some pretty big areas of my life where I do a good job of not letting the things I cannot control impact me too heavily. You know, there's a lot of things about my life right now that are certainly not ideal. There's a lot of things that are very scary, and there's an enormous amount of pressure and uncertainty, but I still live every single day so excited, so full of hope and optimism, and I still pour my entire heart and all of my soul into doing the things that I love in hopes that these other uncertain, scary things will eventually be resolved, right? And that's not easy. And I think that's one area where I do very well with this practice. But there are definitely a lot of things where I do not do so well with this practice. And I do actually think that living here in London and a lot of the things that I struggle with and that I've been getting very tired really for the last 18 months since I got here, a lot of those do fall into that category for sure of things I cannot control. And so I think over the coming weeks, I'd really like to challenge myself to try to think about how I could be adopting Antoine's mindset in this book, Mes Amis, Mes Amours, and really trying to enjoy London so much more than I have been, and trying to think about all those wonderful things that are here to be explored and enjoyed, and how much more texture and richness I could have in my daily life within the constraints that I have, right? Because there are some very legitimate worries and concerns. The cost of transportation is very real, and the amount of time that it takes, because I have been just so focused on really trying to make progress, you know, with my studies, my projects, like trying to move forward with my work and my career, and trying to solve a lot of these scary things like the financial part and everything else. But again, if I take the mindset that I had when doing these journals and really challenging myself, it's like, okay, that is very real, but even with the exact same time of the commute to Watch House or to work, there's a lot of other places I could go within the same amount of commuting time, and it wouldn't have to cost any more necessarily. And even if there is that cost of time, well, again, it's kind of out of my control. It's either I gotta spend that time and try to find ways to use it effectively, like studying my Babel French lessons on the train, or maybe reading this novel, or any number of other things. Maybe doing some sketches on the trains could be fun, like trying to sketch people really quickly. The point is, like, I do think that falls into the category of things I cannot control. I can't stay home all day, every single day, all the time. So might as well try to be a bit more effective in how I use that time and the places I get to go and enjoy. And I also think it would make these videos super fun because I would love to take you on more adventures around the city. Yeah, so I'm gonna really try my best, and I'm gonna start tomorrow. I'm actually gonna go and meet a friend for coffee tomorrow at a place I have not been to for a long time. So I think that's gonna be a great start. And I'm really gonna try and challenge myself to at least once a week, go somewhere a little bit different, take you with me, and try to just start living a bit better here in London, in spite of all those things that I do find challenging, but that I really can't control. So I would love to know if anything from this video resonates with you. In the first part of the video, I was kind of more showing how this is a process to build up these larger systems in life, these systems of habits and rituals and healthy practices, right? It's not something where I can just immediately start doing all the things that I want. For me, it always takes several months once I'm in this rebuilding phase to slowly add in a yoga practice and slowly bring in meditation and anchor everything together with that weekly journaling and reflecting and planning. Like, it takes time to build these things up. So even when I say I would like to be more consistent with these things, I'm not beating myself up. I think it's a natural part of the process of building a happy and healthy and balanced life that keeps me grounded, but also lets me continue shooting for my dreams. And in the second part of the video, we talked about letting go of things we cannot control, and I'd love to know if there are any examples in your own lives. And with that, I will say goodnight, and I will look forward to seeing you all again back here on Wednesday.